Welcome to this new session. My name is AJ Mina. I'm founder and managing director of Black Fox Models Africa. I'm so excited that today we're going to learn a lot more about Runway. I've compiled a little video for you to try and really practice at home on the basics of how to be a runway model. Before we begin, we're going to learn three basic points. Number one is I'm going to discuss on preparations before you go for runway or even a casting. What do you need to do or what need to have? And number two, we'll discuss the basics of learning how to walk on a runway. This will be like 3 pointers. And then I will show you a few of the poses and turns in the end. So, welcome. So to start with your runway, first of all you need to look in the shoes. You need to have the right shoes. Your posture needs to be a very confident posture. You make sure that your chin is 90 degrees from the ground, and also your shoulders need to be quite like alert and not slouched. So they need to be a little bit 90 degrees. I mean, all shoulders are not the same, but try to put your chest up a little bit so that you look confident instead of slouching. I'll let you practice a little bit as I'm showing on the video on how to put your chest up, and then make sure your gaze is looking right to the camera, is 90 degree straight from your chin, and also it's parallel to the ground, whereby you're looking right to the cameras. You're not supposed to look down at all. Remember that. Yeah, so practice if you can. Normally it takes a little bit of a practice to make sure that you only look up. One way to do that, also, you can place like a little book on your head and you can learn that. So that's number one. Now that you've learned on the preparations, the next one is to understand the basic start. Before you start walking, you need to learn how to walk, imagining that you're walking on a straight line. So if you're at home, you can draw this line and just practice walking on your straight. So your legs need to be, the stride need to be one in front of the other. This is for the girls. Practice that at home. As you can see that you just need to start slowly. Nobody, it takes time for you to be able to understand how to balance and be able to walk slowly before you can walk quicker. So practice, and that is what we call it, runway or catwalk, because you're walking straight. Your one leg is in front of the other. It takes a while, so I would say practice. Just keep going back and forth, and later on, remembering that as you do that, don't look down. You always look up, and your chin should always be 90 degrees as well. And once you've mastered it, then you can even walk normal on a normal without the line, but that line should be imaginary to you, and be very comfortable with it, whereby you just are walking normal. So it has to look very flawless. It has to look like you are sliding across the runway. So there you have it. That's number two. Okay, now we will be discussing. I'll be showing you a little bit of the poses. So Poses really help you. Normally at the start or at the end of the runway, you will need to pause. The easy one is usually by leaning on one leg and letting the leg stand tall. Like just put one leg aside and one leg, you just lean on one leg. That is the easiest. It helps you look very tall, and it's a very cool pose for models. You can do any side that you feel comfortable, but this is just by leaning, and then even when you start walking, it's easy to walk when you lean on one leg, and that leg that's out, you can use it as the first leg to start walking with, as you can see. So that is the easiest pose that many models do. Just one stride and just lean one leg, and that's it. And well, you can practice this many times as well. It's a very easy, very, very easy pose, which is just lean, which you can use at the start of the runway and at the end of the runway. You can use it to pose. Even when you start, you just it helps you kind of get yourself together, and then you start walking. Even when you start walking, you can see I just put the leg back into the middle before you start walking. See, that's very easy. Okay, I'm also going to try and show you many other types of poses that you can do, which is like by adding your arms, like a little bit of a diva look there, or you can it can be the same pose, but you're just adding something extra, or you can pose longer. So it's really just be easy. Do what you feel works for you. And so you can pose one side like what I showed, and then you turn. It's a very, very once you practice, then you get to see and you find your best pose. That is usually I like doing that with your arms, both of your arms on the side. Well, that's it. So for the next one, I will show you some of the turns, and we'll see. There we go. So turns. Then I'm gonna show you how to do the middle turn. That's the twirl. It's really cool at the end when you twirl. It shows confidence, but you need to practice. At the moment, it's a very short runway for me to do, but you practice by you stand on your strongest leg, and then you use that to turn around. You see, like what I did, and that's the leg you should start walking with. I'll show you again. So it's something that you have to really practice. It really makes your confidence go up, because you can, it's a very simple twirl, but you need to be very sure the leg that you go around with, the leg that makes the turn is the leg that you start walking with. You see, so very simple. And this looks really good with when you actually are wearing like a dress that is flowy, whereby when you twirl it actually shows how the dress is made. So that's really that's the reason of the twirl in the middle. If you're wearing a big long flowy dress, when you twirl, then it actually really makes the outfit look better. So just practice it, and then you need to do lots more practice, and then you'll be able to learn. And lastly, I'm going to show you a few of the turns from my other video I made, whereby you get different types of poses at the back, at the end of the runway. I'll show you some of that. But other than that, I hope you've learned, and continue practicing at home. Please continue following this channel, and I'll be sharing many more tips and tricks of how to do runway, or on how you can grow yourself to be a top model. Bye.